Firstborns are the most exploited source of free labor on the planet. No wonder you guys are so weird about having kids. I couldn't find any research topic that proves this, by the way, but I think that's what's up. Think about it though, if you spent your whole childhood raising kids, you might not want to do it again when you're grown. And before you ask, no, I'm not a firstborn, but work with me. A lot of families have their first child while they are still trying to find their feet. Money's tight, parents are working long hours, extra childcare is expensive or just unavailable. So the family creates its own support system. And the firstborn slash oldest child becomes a part of that system. They are the first person everyone calls for every tiny task, like watch your brother, help your sister. One request becomes another, then another, and another one. Okay, over time, being responsible can start to feel like the safest way to earn a love until they stop seeing responsibility as something that they do and start seeing it as who they are. Now, over time, the average firstborn stops asking, what do I want? And instead, they start asking, what does everybody else need? You can't rest in peace. Not like that. I mean, you can't rest without feeling guilty. You struggle to ask for or accept help. When things go wrong at home, you start worrying as if it's your responsibility. Okay, interestingly, the second child often develops the opposite adaptation. Firstborn learns that love comes from carrying responsibility. Second may learn that love comes from standing out. But that's a story for another day. Now, to be fair, this is not written in stone. Plenty of firstborns never take on that role. Matter of fact, research shows that the birth order alone doesn't really explain much. What actually produces all that firstborn behavior is how early your parents start treating you like an adult by giving you responsibility. So you notice the loop where parents push responsibility to the oldest child. Over time, they adapt to that role. They stop seeing caregiving as something that they do, they start seeing it as who they are. That identity makes them volunteer for even more responsibility, which makes the family depend on them even more. Which is why so many firstborns end up behaving similarly, even when they grow up in different families. It's also why they always seem so mature. Turns out many of them were carrying responsibilities that didn't match their age. Or at least that's my theory. To all the firstborns, thank you for carrying so much. I hope carrying less doesn't feel like failing the people that you love. So I put this to you. How would you raise your first child? Let me know in the comments and I'll talk to you in the next one. Say Anjima.